Listen. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers simply for this one reason. I think when we talk about better, we also got to talk about the mental aspect of the game. And I think where Aaron Rodgers differentiates himself from a Patrick Mahomes at this present time is the fact that he has more experience in the league right now. He's seen more things, and I think he might have a more cerebral aspect to his game right now because of the experience. But make no mistake about it. When it comes to the physical, for years we've marveled at Aaron Rodgers and his arm talent and the things he's been able to do throughout his career that other quarterbacks haven't been able to do. But those days are over with, okay? Those days are over with. Patrick Mahomes can do everything that Aaron Rodgers can do and better outside the pocket, his arm talent. He can do all the things that he's like a 2.0 of Aaron Rodgers. But I think that right now, the little separation to me is the neck up with the experience that Aaron Rodgers has playing in this league. It won't be long before Patrick Mahomes, to me, it won't even be a conversation that Patrick Mahomes is a guy.
According to Damien, that Patrick Mahomes is going to be even better this year than he was last year because he at least has a year of experience under his belt. I think the experience obviously is something that matters, but Aaron Rodgers had that experience last year, and he wasn't anywhere close to Patrick Mahomes last year. He's had that experience the year before, and he wasn't close to Patrick Mahomes, and he had that experience when he was an MVP, and his numbers were tantamount to what Patrick Mahomes were, but they weren't better. They weren't above and beyond what Patrick Mahomes
let me ask you this
question.
Let me ask you this question, Nate. Okay, because you brought it up. You brought up talent, personnel, and you brought up coach. So let me ask you this: if you put Aaron Rodgers in that system, what kind of numbers would Aaron Rodgers put up in Kansas City?
Oh, he put up great numbers, but if was a fifth, we all be drunk.
But I'm just saying. I mean, don't you have to? I mean, we've come on this show and we've constantly talked about how Aaron Rodgers was handicapped by Mike McCarthy, his system, his conservative system. Now you put Aaron Rodgers in a high octane offense like the Kansas City Chiefs, I guarantee you'll put up, probably the same type of numbers.
You just went down the list, and you said that Patrick Mahomes is better than him in almost every category except for the experience category.
Right. From the physical aspect, I think he's like a 2.0. But I'm just saying,
it didn't seem like Patrick Mahomes had trouble making decisions last year. It seemed like he made all the right decisions throughout, and even deep into the playoffs. They lost that playoff games. It wasn't his fault. He was making good decisions. It seems like he is pretty good from the neck up, as far as I'm concerned. The son of a professional athlete, he's comfortable with this world. He's not going to get intimidated. I think he is getting better. I think he was better than. I mean, we don't have to argue this. We all agree that he was better than Aaron Rodgers last year. But the question is, who's going to be better this coming season? I think it's going to be Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to be Patrick Mahomes going forward compared to Aaron Rodgers, who I hate to do this because obviously I think Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. I agree. Aaron Rodgers is great. He's been the most talented quarterback in the league for a long time, even though he hasn't been the most successful. And he was hampered by what Mike McCarthy was doing. All that stuff is true. But that's a different world. The world has changed. We are now in Pat Mahomes' world, and Aaron Rodgers is not going to get that crown back. Right. He's still going to be great. He's still going to be Pro Bowl caliber and possibly win the Super Bowl this year with the adjustments they made on defense.
Let me chime in.
He ain't Patrick.
Now, we heard you. Let me chime in.
All right. Give it to me.
Both of y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Just ashamed. I mean, Damien, what are you too big to be dancing, bro? You too big to be dancing, all right? Because you were dancing all over the place. You were sitting there raving about Aaron Rodgers, and then you come back on the back end with how, Patrick Mahomes is 2.0. We'll see.
Wait a minute, hold on. They did call me Dancing Bear, and when I played.
He got good feet. He got good feet.
My feet are pretty good.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so why don't you give me the business? You give me the business then.
I didn't know. All right. And listen, both of y'all are in the NFL. Both of y'all give a lot of credence to not just your ability, but your ability under duress. Once somebody sees you, knows what you're about to throw at them, film is on you or what have you, then we will find out. There's been plenty of dudes that came into the league that were one-year wonders, and then all of a sudden they tailed off. Even though they were still good, they weren't as great as anticipated. Why? Because you're playing against grown men who are intelligent, who got mortgages to pay, families to feed, and beyond. And these are all the things you got to tell. Hold on, Dominique. I gave you the floor. I didn't say a word.
You're right. So
you
said something that triggered me. I just needed.
But let me say this. But let me say this. I am not questioning the abilities of Patrick Mahomes, nor the fact that he was MVP and deservedly so last year. 50 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a rating of 113, a QBR 82. Let me tell you something right now. I look at Aaron Rodgers, right? Before Aaron Rodgers got hurt over the last 2 seasons, let me go to his numbers that I have in front of me dating back to 2009. You talk about ratings of 103, 101, 122.5, 108, 104.9, 112.2, 92.7, 104.2. That's 8 consecutive years, okay? When you look at his QBR, 70, 69, 84, 71, 78, 73, etc. Aaron Rodgers, when you look at
what year was that?
I said from 2009 to like 2016.
Okay.
What I'm saying to you is this.
Just checking.
Patrick Mahomes is great. Was great last year.
And Aaron Rodgers was great in 2016.
Time out.
Continue.
But you got to remember, Aaron Rodgers, let's first reality. Anthony Barr took him out a couple of years ago, had that injury, didn't play. Last year was his first season back, got hurt early, and played throughout the rest of the season when people thought he should have sat down. I'm saying that a healthy Aaron Rodgers going up against a healthy Patrick Mahomes, particularly a healthy Patrick Mahomes that you have film on him now. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be great for years to come. Okay. But when you say that he's going to be, or he is rather, the operative word is, better than Aaron Rodgers, that's very, very disrespectful to somebody who has done it year after year after year.
I mean, my inbox was flooded, my mentions was flooded with angry Packers fans, and I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is a bum. He is great, and he could quite possibly have a better season than Patrick Mahomes this year. But you talk about who's better, you went back to 2016, and then you started making excuses about injuries.
How's it an excuse, Dominique? It's a fact.
Okay, it's a fact.
He got hurt, man.
Exactly. We can't say a person is the best in the league if he didn't even play that, if he was playing on injury.
What I'm saying to you is this. If you're as great as Aaron Rodgers is,
he is great.
There should be a requirement that you got to have more than 1 year on your record to sit there and eclipse him.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing real quick? Let me say one thing real quick. You know, first I gotta apologize, okay? Because I was tap dancing like Gregory Hines when I was talking. Okay?
That's a reference.
So I'm gonna make this perfectly clear.
Google Gregory Hines, kids.
Yes, Google Gregory Hines.
Well, they've heard me say it. They've Googled it already.
Okay.
That's where he got it from. Go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers. Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on. Let me throw this out there.
Listen, here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, look at the year that Patrick Mahomes had last year. His first full year starting. And he was the league MVP.
Can I ask both of y'all to educate me about something?
Let me add one more piece to that.
Go ahead.
Okay. Most players, and Dominic knows this, most players, when they go from year 1 to year 2, basically of starting full time, that's usually when they make their biggest jump.
That's the way you get better.
Okay? So when we look at Patrick Mahomes, in our mind it's like, man, how much better can this dude be? Like, what can he be this year coming up after last year?
I'm deferring to y'all. I'm not going to debate this. I'm going to throw this out, and then I got 2 questions for you.
All right.
Patrick Mahomes did have Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt for the vast majority of the season, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, got Andy Reid calling plays.
And a great offensive line.
Andy Reid and a great offensive line, right? I would ask you, and we know what Aaron Rodgers had to work with in comparison to that. So I would ask you to take that into consideration along with this question. Y'all educate me. The National Football League, particularly as it pertains to the protection of the quarterback. Talk to me about what the league is now compared to what it was.